here. Okay, start from the superior part here, and it overlies the heart. So this is the thymus. So in most cases, sometimes it is attached to the sternum here. So as you remove it, you can remove the thymus. And again, we know that the older the cat gets, the smaller the thymus would be replaced by adipose tissue and connective tissue. So that's the thymus here. We put it to the side. And the second endocrine organ is the pancreas. The pancreas, you find the stomach, reflect the stomach here, lift it, and this is the pancreas going here. Okay, it goes, and this is where it ends here. Okay, so it opens in the small intestine here. Release the pancreatic juice for digestion. You know, it's a mixed gland, so that would be the digestion is the exocrine function, production of insulin would be, and glucagon would be its endocrine function. And then the third endocrine organs are the ovary that we saw here in the female cat and the testes in the male cat. So those are the gonads. Okay? And again, when talk about endocrine organs, right away you need to know the functions, what they produce, and the actions of those hormones. Because the cat may be out there, and the question would be not to say what is the name of this organ here, but what hormone does it produce. Okay, so we need to associate those the structures with their function. Now, cardiovascular system. The heart, we saw the heart here, and it is surrounded by a bag that we call the pericardium. So in this case, we opened it, and you can actually peel it off. Okay, remove it here on this side also. Peel it, remove it. Okay, and once you do so, you can see the atria of the heart, right? Right atrium, left atrium with the auricles, and these will be the ventricles. You can see the coronary vessels. Okay, and open here, and you can see the wall separating the two ventricles. Okay, so right ventricle, left ventricle, you can here also witness the thickness of these walls. And reason why we have red and blue vessels here is because the cat is injected with that colored or dyed silicone. Okay, so it was first liquid when it was being injected when it's hot, and then when it cools down it hardened, so now it's like a rubber. And so that was in here, and that's what you see, this remnant here. So it's been completely removed. So the heart, we don't focus much on the heart here because we had the beef heart. And from the heart, the first vessel here, you see going up, this is here the aorta. Can we see it? So aorta, ascending aorta, going up here, arching over, and then it goes down. So remove this lobe of the lung here, hold this one as well. So can we see the aorta going down here?
Yes.
Do it down. So that'll be the descending aorta. So it goes, you can follow it, it will then go to the diaphragm here and then open in the abdominal cavity. Okay, so we'll come that later. So here, from the aorta, the first two branches from the aortic arch here would be, the first one here is the brachiocephalic artery. Okay, and the second branch is the left subclavian artery. Similar to the beef, you have only two vessel branching of the aortic arch. And you follow the brachiocephalic artery, so it's called trunk now. You see here, this is where it starts, this is where it ends. It's quickly subdivided into these three. Okay, so what are those three vessels? The first one here on the right is the right subclavian artery. The second one goes up here, and that's the right common carotid artery. So the right subclavian, you can follow it. That's the same vessel going here. Okay, right subclavian in the armpit area become the axillary. Right common carotid here, and this third one here is the left common carotid artery. So that's it here. Continue. And this is here the left subclavian artery, and you can follow it. That's the vessel. It goes on this side here. Okay, so that's the left subclavian artery. Okay, left subclavian goes here.
Right subclavian goes here.
The right subclavian is a branch of the brachiocephalic trunk here, but the left subclavian comes out of the aorta on its own. Okay, and that's one of the differences between the human and the cat blood vessel. The veins, so we see here also entering the right atrium here is the superior vena cava. Okay, so the superior vena cava is also called the precava in the cat. because in the anatomical position the cat is not straight standing. So this vessel is not above the heart, but it is in front of the heart. So that's why it's called precava. And then the one behind here, the heart, is the postcava, and that would be the inferior vena cava. Okay, so we have inferior vena cava called postcava, superior vena cava called the precava. Okay, and what is the superior vena cava made of? It is made of the right and left brachiocephalic veins. Okay, so these are the two brachiocephalic veins, and each brachiocephalic vein is made of the fusion of the subclavian vein and the external jugular vein. Okay, so another difference is that we call the pre and post, the superior and inferior vena cava, we call them pre and post cava. The third difference in cat is that the external jugular vein is bigger than the internal jugular vein. In human, it's the opposite. The internal jugular vein is larger than the external jugular, and the fusion of the internal with the subclavian form the brachiocephalic in human. So the cat is the external jugular, subclavian, and then you have the brachiocephalic vein. The same thing happened on the left side here. So those are the vessels that we have on the list to identify up here. And as we move down now, so we can see the aorta going down here to the diaphragm, and then it comes out here. So that's the same aorta here. Okay, so this is here the abdominal aorta, and it is part of the descending aorta. You know that the aorta from here, from the point where it starts going down here all the way here, this is all the descending aorta. But it is called here abdominal aorta and the abdominal cavity, and thoracic aorta and thoracic cavity. And we have three unpaired branches of the abdominal aorta. The first one you see here is the celiac trunk. Celiac trunk. So let's put it this way for them to see. Okay, so the celiac trunk is the very first branch here. And then the second branch would be the superior mesenteric artery. Okay. Celiac trunk, superior mesenteric artery, and then the third branch here is the inferior mesenteric artery, going to the large intestine, inferior mesenteric. Okay, so these, as you see, they emerge from the front surface, anterior surface of the aorta. And then we have two paired branches. What are those? We have some here going to the kidney, right? So this is what? Renal artery, right? Going here, and then the right would be going to the right kidney. And the second would be the gonadal arteries. So remember that this, we say the ovary. So you follow the ovary here, there's a blood vessel coming from the aorta all the way straight to the ovary. So this would be here, the gonadal artery and vein. Okay. And when we study blood vessel, we mentioned that arteries and veins of the same caliber. Usually the vein is large in diameter, and you can see that here. Look how small the artery is, gonadal artery. Compare that to the gonadal vein. It's much bigger. Okay, so that applies to most of those vessels here. You compare the aorta here to the vena cava, the same thing. Now, after giving up those 5 branches, then the aorta continues down here, and will end by giving first of the 2 external iliac arteries. Okay, this vessel and this vessel. These are the left and right external iliac arteries, and then these 2 here are the internal iliac arteries. So that's the 4th difference here. The cats don't have a common iliac artery. In human, remember, from the aorta you have the common iliac artery, and the common iliac artery gives you the external and internal. So here the external and internal branch of the aorta directly. And when it comes to veins, everything else would be the same except for the presence of the common iliac vein. So down here, this is the inferior vena cava, and the inferior vena cava is made of these 2 vessels, which are the common iliac veins. And each common iliac vein is made of external iliac vein and the internal iliac vein. Okay, so cats do have a common iliac vein, but they don't have common iliac artery. Okay, so those are the 5 differences between the human and the cat blood vessel. And I think those were the vessels and the splenic artery. You can see it here coming from the celiac trunk. The splenic artery continues straight up here to the spleen. Okay, see, splenic artery. Doing here. Okay, and this is our spleen. So those were the vessels we have to, and organs we had to identify for the dissection here. Okay, so now we all have
Quiz.
5 minutes to show me 5 structures each station.